3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to Ruse Radio, episode 11. This time, folks, welcome back. First, I gotta say that, but this time we got our friend here. Introduce yourself, my buddy.
Hi, I'm Westy.
Westy, who are you? Who's Westy? I don't know. Who's Westy?
I'm a music artist based out of Clio, Michigan. Really just starting off really what I'm doing and starting to get a little bit of traction, and I really love what I'm doing, so kind of starting off that way.
What do you love about making music?
Honestly, so whenever I get anything like bad or good that happens to me, I love to write about it and put it in my songs, and it's kind of like almost like a detox to be able to put, you know, what I do and what I live through, because most of the time I do write about experience because it's the easiest thing, and I think it's the best thing to do because it's relatable too, and it's almost like a detox. That's what I love about it. Whatever mood I'm in, I can hop in the studio and just create.
Yeah, and I think people like that kind of thing, when it's like it's not just like what you said about detox, like it's kind of you're listening to someone go through something themselves.
Right, it's genuine. Yeah,
it's genuine, and it gives you kind of like a feeling of experience, like you understand that experience and that kind of stuff. Like it's like the feelings that are in the song. I often say that, you know, it's like the emotions you put in the song, and what that whole thing portrays is really what the song is. It's not what the song sounds like. It's what it can do to somebody within. I agree. It, you know, yeah, I mean,
having people go out of their way to tell me if they listen to a song, be like, hey, I really like this.
Oh yeah.
Or hey, this relates to me. Like that is a big thing, because it's like, you know, that you're not, you know, alone, and you're also going through the same stuff that other people are going through too.
Well, and it's like when you know that you had a genuine effect on someone. Like I that's another thing I always say is like when it comes to making music, like making it and all that, and like it's like what you said, the part where it's like a detox and all that, that's a big part of it. The other big part of it is the part where you don't even expect, like you put it out there and it's just, you know what you like about it, but then someone else says, like they point out a part of it or what it meant to them, and like it's like they look at it in a way that you hadn't even looked at. You hadn't even looked at it, and like because of that, it gives you this, oh my gosh, Margot. She's like all about you. She's usually not, so wow.
I mean, what can I say?
Yeah, it must be you. But yeah, like when you have that genuine effect on somebody, I feel like that really it speaks to you so much more than like just bopping to a song.
Exactly.
But like there's still, that doesn't say that music is even any.
No, I agree. I think it's good. I mean, to have a mix of both, I think it's a perfect thing.
Yeah, of course. You want to kind of like, if you can, like, I like to, like this way, I like the songs that are like half like that, and then out of nowhere they like drop off. I like, because then it kind of speaks to like the duality of it too. Right. When you can kind of like pull that off on a song, it's kind of cool. Like I have a song called Image All Me off of Con Artist.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that one. But it's like, it starts with what a life is, and the aim is an image, this is no game, it's scrimmage, it's kind of like braggadocious, and then it like splits off on the second half of the song, and it becomes like a slower thing.
Right.
And I feel like because of that, it kind of makes the song this bigger thing. Like it's not just, it speaks to something bigger than what it's actually like. It makes you have to think about it a little more.
And I think that's a super good goal with any song.
Or you know, Chance the Rapper on Acid Rap, where it cuts off at the end of that one song, and then it's, I've been riding around.
You're not gonna believe me here.
You know what song I'm talking about?
Never listen to Acid Rap.
Oh, you've never heard that? Oh, that song. Oh, dude, you gotta listen to Acid Rap, dude. Like that's are you very familiar with Chance the Rapper?
Like most of his stuff, no, not really. I mean, obviously like his hits and stuff, but I never really, his sound to me never super resonated with me.
Well, I can understand that too, though, because I like, based on what you've shown me already, like the music that you listen to seems to kind of be also kind of in the lane that you're trying to go down musically.
Exactly.
So I can see why it wouldn't appeal to you as much.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's not something that hits me and I'm like, I want to listen to it again. It's also, I don't think it's bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't listen to it.
Oh, no, for sure.
It's just not.
That's how I am with like most music, though. Like most music I don't even not like. Like I can enjoy most music.
Right.
I think that's kind of like how I am. Like that's why I can talk to most people and do that kind of stuff, because I just like the way that things are. I like feeling like I can just come up and kind of have my perspective on it, but it exists the way it is, and I just can appreciate that, and like that's nice, and like the fact that I'm a witness to all these things is so cool. So like I like being able to do all that. How'd I I get on that? I had a thing I was gonna say. We were going somewhere.
About the type of music that I make?
Oh yeah, well I was also just transition with that to like, I was gonna say, could you like describe what is the type of music that you make to like the people at home?
Okay, so I would say, as Drake said it best, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember exactly what he said, but he did an interview. And Drake's one of my bigger inspirations for music, just because I think he's a genuine guy, and he's very intelligent, and he's intellectual, and he also makes a ton of different music, and he's versatile. So I look up to him as an artist.
I think I saw that on your story. Didn't you say that you thought Drake was the most influential?
I think greatest of our generation, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I have a GOAT, but I think he's the greatest of our generation. But what he said,
I can see why you'd say that in terms of influence.
Oh,
like
sure.
like if you're talking like past Lil Wayne in like 2000, the late thousands, I guess.
Yeah, I would say like, but anything
like what came after Lil Wayne? It'd
2010
be Drake.
to now.
It would have to be Drake.
I agree.
I mean, Kendrick did a lot though.
I think he did too, but
he didn't like with the whole jazz thing. I mean, but was he already kind of riding a wave when he did that? Because I think no one was really doing the jazz thing until Kendrick did it.
Well, here's the thing about Drake though, is I think Drake has dominated so many. Because Kendrick, I mean, up there with rap. And I mean, 1, 2, or 3, however you want to look at Drake, Cole, or Kendrick. Everybody has that list, right? But the thing with Drake is he's also R&B, he's also pop, and he does all those things, and he's at the number one songs, like Hotline Bling, number one pop song.
And like I used to dislike Drake just because of the whole ghostwriter thing, you know, like everybody.
Right.
But like at this point, I kind of look at artistry like, you know, it doesn't really matter how it got there, because the fact that it's there is what matters.
And
it's like, you know, you can judge music. It's like the whole X thing. Like, I didn't really like X that much before he died, and even after he died, it's like, I don't know what to say, but at the same time, I get it. Like, I've always, like, his last album, not like the one he released before he passed away. That was great. Like, that was a great album, and I can appreciate that album no matter what, because I just don't. I think music is music. Like, art is art, and so you should allow it to be what it is.
Right.
Because that's why it is what it is. You know, like even with Brockhampton and all that stuff with, is it Amir? I'm not super familiar with Brockhampton.
No, neither am I, but I mean, I know who they are.
Yeah, but you know, like there was the whole, I'm not gonna, I hope no Brockhampton fans get mad at me because I don't know all the details, but there was like some sort of harassment thing, like he was involved with it, like, it definitely did not look good for him, is what I'm saying. But I feel like, and he was on all their album covers and stuff like that, and his voice was like, you listen to a Brockhampton song, you know who he is. Like, it's like that. But he's a great rapper in the sense that I can listen to those songs and I can still take from that what was good about it and incorporate it in my stuff and not be bad, because like, I'm still me, so I feel like you can appreciate good things and take from them because that's why they're good and that's why you like them. Like, you should be able to appreciate it.
Right, and I appreciate Drake so much because of his versatility.
Like, even if other people say that's what I'm saying. I used to think that Drake was this kind of artist where like, oh, why can't you, like, you know, write your own stuff? Why does it feel like you have a team behind you? But at this point, it's like, oh, of course. Like, that's just why Drake is Drake.
Exactly. But to lead back to...
you can't hate on someone for having a brand. Like, that's what it is.
Right, no, it is. And that's what makes him successful.
And he does it really well.
Exactly. It's what makes him successful. But
like, even, dude, Sicko Mode, like, what a smart move by, like, Drake and Travis Scott.
Yeah.
Like, what... By the both of them. Like, even if you don't like that song, like, of course, it was popular.
Right.
And then that's just another smart move by Drake. And he's been doing that for so long.
No, for sure.
So long.
And yeah, that's what, so like to say what I was saying about...
But I don't even want to, I want to keep interrupting you, but I gotta agree with you, because honestly, who has that type of consistency?
Nobody.
Like, I guess Kendrick. Like, Kendrick is a good argument. He's the only person I think you could say has that type of consistency, but even then, he hasn't been like as popular for as long as Drake.
And he hasn't.
But like Eminem, he does not have that type of consistency. He just doesn't.
No.
Like you would critically, in terms of critical acclaim, and also just in terms of like, I don't know, like, really in terms of critical acclaim. Like, if you look at Eminem's albums, it kind of like goes up and down. Like, Kamikaze was like back up, but you know, he had to go down to get back up. And I don't think Drake has really went down at all. Same thing with Kendrick.
Since 2010.
Like, since 2010.
And so it's 2019, and he's still at the top of the game. And no matter, and that's the thing, is that he's, like I've said before, Kendrick is definitely a top artist in rap.
Yeah.
And he's great at that.
But you're saying that Drake does more than
R&B,
that.
pop, and rap. I don't think he's the best rapper or whatever, and I can touch on that in a second. But to lead back to what I was saying about how what kind of music I make.
Yeah.
Drake said it best in an interview, and he said, "I make music that you listen to when you're driving in your car, and it's stuff that when you're on a road trip, sometimes it's stuff lyrically that hits you. Because if you're really paying attention to the music, sometimes you're paying attention to the road and you're just feeling what it sounds like. And I like to do a mix of both, and I like to really bring that vibe and that energy of you can feel it one of two ways, where it can hit you where it's like, wow, that was deep. But sometimes I'm gonna make a song that you're just like, you know what, I vibe to this, and I'm not listening to it only for it to hit me lyrically. You know what I mean? So I like to be as versatile as I can.
Yeah. Well, because like I was saying, it's more about the emotions in the song. Like, you know, and I've kind of like learned that more with freestyling and stuff like that too. Because when you're freestyling, you can't overthink what you're trying to put into the song.
Right.
Like, you can't think, oh, this will sound stupid. Like, you can, but you might stutter, and then you have to work off of that.
Right.
So it's like you have to keep this moving, and it's more about the emotion that you're portraying. And you kind of, if you're doing an acapella, like, it's not like that, but if you're doing a beat, like, you get that off the beat, and then you look around and you see things, and you like use all of those things, and your brain is like moving, and that's just what it is. And I feel like music like that works because, like, it's like you said, if you're driving, I just like, when I hear music, I just like to hear something that sounds like it's making me think. Like, that's the art that I like. I feel like it's there to make me think about something.
Right.
Like, I'm not just listening to it because it's there to, like, tell me what it is and all that. Like, it can't be that simple. It's like, it's questioning something. So I have to think about it myself.
Like a movie with symbolism.
Yeah, like a movie with symbolism. Well, the best movies are movies that weren't, like, straightforward, and you saw these, like, images that meant something to you, and you developed your own meaning.
Right.
It's the same thing with all art. And, like, especially music, at least for me, like, I know the songs that mean something to me are songs that I, like, heard, and I can hear them again 2 years later, and they still mean something, but, like, I can derive something else from that.
Right, or like when, how oftentimes you listen to a song, and, you know, you listen to it in a time and place, and then you go back and you listen to it a year later, and you listen to it again, and you think of that time and place because it just resonates.
Oh, yeah.
With you. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of like how when you eat food, or you, like, smell
you get
a
that
smell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when something really, that's when you know you like something musically a lot, I feel like, is because of that feeling.
It's strange, too, to like some songs that you wouldn't like otherwise, but you have, like, this memory associated with it.
Yeah.
That's kind of, like, just speaks to me about music itself. Because it's like, it speaks beyond, like, it's not just, like, what you like, it's, like, the memories.
I think music is way more powerful than people give credit to.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason that, I mean, it's very, how often do you find somebody that doesn't like music at all? I mean, everybody likes a certain kind of music.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
What kind of, like, monster
Right, yeah. I mean,
doesn't listen to music?
yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
That'd be like the real Grinch.
yeah, like you know,
Even the Grinch
of
listened to music, I'm pretty sure. He sang.
Yeah, so there you go. So there you go. Everybody listens to music, no matter what
Even the
genre it is,
Grinch.
and so I think it really speaks on how powerful it is because it just connects more than almost I think anything in the world. I mean, that's the craziest thing is music. I mean, music drives my life.
Oh yeah, well I mean, like, an instrumental can speak to anybody, like anybody through any language.
I mean, that's what makes songs. I mean, I think a lot of people, especially in hip hop, that's what drives almost all these songs is the beat. And without a beat, I mean, here's the thing. Somebody singing a cappella can be cool and it can be really good. You can be a great singer. You can go back and listen to it maybe 1 or 2 times because it's so good. But you're gonna get sick of it because what drives music, what drives anything really, I think, is the beat in music.
Well, you know what it really is? It's the, I mean, if you're talking a band especially, it's the drums and the bass.
Yes.
I mean, like, but it's...
feel it.
Yeah, like, it's the part
feel it.
that you actually feel. Yeah, like, that's why when you listen to headphones and you don't hear the bass, it's a little bit different. Because, like... Or when you do hear the bass, like on a song you haven't heard the bass on because you heard it on crappy headphones. Yeah. Like, it's like, whoa.
It hits way different.
It hits way different because it's like a different experience almost. It's like the groove wasn't there.
Exactly.
And that's a big part of
listening
music.
to music.
That's why, like, you know, if you're in a band, you really need to focus on your drums and the bassist a lot. Like, the bassist matters so much more than people give credit to. And also, what I was going to say based on what you said is that the people who make instrumentals in hip-hop matter way less than people give them credit to. Like, have you ever, like, read those articles about how much those people get paid sometimes for, like, those popular beats that they make?
Oh, like Metro Boomin.
Yeah, it's crazy. crazy. And no one even knows.
I see that now.
A lot of the time they don't even know who made the beat. They just like the song. But the reason you like the song is the beat.
Right.
Like if you, and that's not to discredit the rapper, but like it's just saying like we should give, like if you like a song, I don't know. It's weird because you can't really expect an average listener to care that much about a producer and who made the song because they're a fan of the artist. But like, it's like what you said. Like a lot of the time, there's so much that goes into like the producers, but I do think also to give credit to the artist. When you choose a producer, that's a big part of being an artist too. Like your choice in producers and choice in beats is very important because like, you know, you wouldn't have. I gotta push the record button on here. It does that. Anyways, you wouldn't for all those viewers on audio. My camera goes off on the battery it can only record for 20 minutes. If anyone has a Nikon and knows how to fix that, let me know. But what was I saying? Something about you. You're good at remembering what I was saying.
Not really.
Shoot. I was saying something about. Oh no.
We were talking about the beats and then the producers and how. When you pick a producer.
Oh well, picking producers, yeah, because it's hard because you it's like you wouldn't see. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. You wouldn't see those. You are good at remembering what I was gonna say. You wouldn't see those videos on YouTube where it's like this person type beat unless they like knew how to pick beats.
That's very true. That's very true.
Like you want to have a sound, and that's a big part of being an artist.
I agree. I think producers definitely, and it goes both ways too, because even like top producers, if you ever watch like the Genius Deconstruct, where they go through the beat and they show what they made. A lot of times, some of them were like, yeah, I actually made this beat with so and so in mind. Because you do. Because when you're making a beat, like a lot of these guys, they do it for a living, so like it's commercial, and so you're doing it for a certain vibe because you think this person might be on it. Once you start to make it, I'm not saying you always create for somebody else, but once you start to get that vibe, it's like, okay, I can see this person on it, so here's what I'm gonna add.
That series is really interesting too, because it's really nice to see. I mean, like production and making beats isn't as complicated as everybody thinks it is, but it also does have like some interesting facets to it. Like, and it's nice to see how like beats can just come together. But I mean, like, yeah, like they'll just show you in 10 minutes. Right. This is how I made the beat.
And it took them 3-4 hours just to find the right sounds. Because the thing is, it's like,
oh yeah, that's the part you don't see though. That's why I like slowly said it that it's simple. Yeah, it's not exactly
because one
simple.
clap and one snare or you know one hi hat doesn't sound the same as the next in a different pack.
Yeah.
Which can make the entire song different. Because so I don't really listen to tracks.
Well, yeah, if you're because they're not using drum loops most of the time.
Right.
Yeah, they're programming in those drums or like they're putting using a little drum pad
or drum
playing
pad,
it out.
But I don't really listen to a ton of Travis Scott, but I do know he said somewhere in an interview that drums are the most important part of his songs.
Oh, for him?
Yeah, because he was like, if the drums are ass, then I'm not.
That's what he said.
I'm not using this. So it was like, I'm paraphrasing, but
well, that makes sense that he would say that though,
because it's important. Like you were just saying, a bass and a drum drives a song more than anybody thinks they do. Because you a lot of intros to a song, you start off without the drums and the beat, and then as soon as the beat comes in, that's when people start going crazy. Like I don't know if you listen to any Khalid at all, but
I've heard a decent amount.
Better by Khalid. He starts off and it's almost just a cappella. I mean, there's like an underlying beat for like that first bar, and then he comes in, and then as soon as that beat hits, that's when everybody starts grooving. That's when like in the music video it starts grooving, shit starts happening, and the drums and the bass drives everything in the song, and people don't realize that because a lot of people don't really break down music. Well,
it's like I said, if you're an average listener, you're not looking at all that stuff anyway. Like you probably don't care that much about the producer or why this song appeals to you so much. It's just the fact that the song appeals to you, and that's what matters.
Exactly.
So you're just gonna like throw it on a playlist. So yeah, it's kind of hard to. I don't know. Music's a complicated thing, but it's like you said, it doesn't get enough credit. It doesn't get enough credit, and that's I think like local music is also like. I don't know. I don't like want to be that guy that's like listen to local music. Like you better like support local because that's cliche.
Right.
But like I just think that from what I've seen and like from what I've heard from like just looking around, like just kind of looking around, I mean, go through my 60 seconds. Just go through it and look at all the rappers, and like you might find a rapper you'll like that kind of thing. Because I've looked around a little bit and I found like a bunch of different people, and I just think that like the versatility in a lot of local rappers and things like that, it's very interesting. Like the types of things that they're coming up with, in contrast to like what you hear that's popular. It just keeps, for me, it like helps me creatively because it shows me that there's more out there, and you know, like you can just find things on SoundCloud that are crazy good, and like they don't have to sound like anything else. Like it's just that you like them and they sound good. Like Gabe Sinclair, I would so recommend listening to Gabe Sinclair because every single song of his just has blown my mind. He's just a great artist. Like I don't even, it's not because he's a local artist. He's just a great artist, you know, and like stuff like that like makes me feel like, oh, like I get it. You know, it's more, it's not just about, you know, what's popular. Like music is literally just a thing that, you know, you're kind of like tapping into, and some people are just really good musicians, and it's not about like popularity, it's about what you want to support. You got to find that kind of stuff,
right? And I think
it's all around you.
I think it's a big difference between independent artists or, you know, local artists as compared to commercial artists, because
for sure,
here's the thing, you sign to a record label and you might be very talented musically, but they have a formula that you have to follow, and you have to abide by certain rules and say certain things, and all these pop beats almost sound exactly the same, and they all abide by the same formula. And the thing with independent artists, most of the time they're not going for a commercial sound, and even if they are, it's always a different vibe because they don't have to follow rules. They're following what they feel in their mind, and I think that's a big difference between what you hear on the radio versus when you hear a good independent artist. Because, you know, like you said, we're not telling people to just listen to locals just to listen to locals. Not every local is good. I mean, not every creator is somebody that is super talented at what they do, but when they are, it brings a totally different vibe than a commercial artist. And I think that's what brings people to good independent artists. Yeah, it kind of like it's like I said, like it kind of makes you understand. Like it brings you back to what music is. Like, oh, there's just talented people. Like, have you ever listened to Black Bear? A little bit, yeah. I think I've heard a decent amount of Black Bear. Yeah, and so he's like kind of. It's hard to describe. He does have his own sound. He does, but he's independent. Yeah, is he really? Yeah, literally. And you wouldn't think by his videos. You would think that he was on a label because everything is so professional. I mean, and he has a team. It's well produced. He definitely has a team around him, and he has a ton of producers that are really good, like Taro, and they do like a lot of his electronic or like more EDM. But either way, like but it's not the same as a commercial pop, and it's not the same as commercial R&B or whatever. No, and it's unique. It makes sense that you'd have. And that's why he's big. Mm-hmm. Because it's different than what, you know, is commercial. That's interesting. And that's what I kind of like to you know, strive for in my music. Is I really like to. I listen to a ton of independent stuff. Like I do listen to my big artists, like I said, Drake, Khalid. Yeah. But I mean, like, and it's like it's kind of hard to like listen to a ton of stuff. You know? Yeah, really. It really is. Like you only have so much time in the day to listen. You only have so much time in the day. Like it really is hard like to listen to a bunch of different music. It's not like you can just listen to a bunch of stuff. And that's like what I was talking to you about earlier before we started the podcast. And that's why I think, especially as an independent artist, because it's important to realize what people do when they listen to music. Like we're talking about, you're gonna drop a 20-song album, or you're gonna drop a 5 to 10 song album or EP. You want to go with the smaller sample size because, especially if people don't know you, they're more inclined to listen to a small amount of music because there's only so much time in the day and they only have so much of an attention span. And that's how it is with all songs. Like I know even when I listen to music, a lot of times I'll skim through and I only listen to like 20 seconds to see what the vibe is. And if I'm not feeling it, then guess what? I'm going to the next song. I think it's all part of something even bigger than that, because I think it's like this big thing where everybody has smaller attention spans, like what they say. So it's like why 60 seconds works. Exactly. Because you have a 60-second video and it's like bam, 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 bam. You know, you got your subtitles, you got your B-roll, you got your person talking, you know, it's color toned and a bunch of stuff's happening. Sometimes the B-roll's music videos. So like, and also you got the music. So all that stuff's happening at once. So when you see all of that, and you're also like, you know, your brain's like, should I read the subtitles? Should I watch the video? And then it all happens within those 60 seconds, and it's also an 8-minute interview that was cut down to 60 seconds, so you're getting all this information really quick. That's what people want to see. They want to see who this person is really quick, get to understand what they are. Oh, okay, now I know who they are. And like, it also like
speaks to that whole, like what I was saying about personality. You want to have your personality in things, but yeah, that's how everything is. You want to have that quick, small little thing that's kind of even has infiltrated music. You look at like albums nowadays, and I think X kind of made it popular with
the short songs.
Yeah, the short songs and the short album. Like what was that album called? It was 17.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was. But 17, that album kind of really, I think that was the 7-track thing. Like that was what really started it.
Yeah,
it really
Joshua Flores.
Because then a bunch of people did it, and I think that kind of speaks to the way that people consume music, like what you're saying. It's easier to listen to a shorter album like that because, I mean, for me, I prefer if it's at least that kind of album, but like, you know, you got some like songs that are like 3 or 4 minutes. Like, don't just shorten.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like, give it, you know, flesh out the songs. But at the same time, I get it. Like, it makes sense from a marketing standpoint because, of course, you're trying to do that.
And especially speaking from a marketing standpoint too, you have a 2-minute song that you really, really like.
Yeah.
You're more inclined to play it again.
Yeah.
And so let's just say, you know, I think Justin Forrest is like 1 minute 30 or 40 seconds.
That was a short song.
So you listen to it 2 or 3 times, and sometimes it's the length of one song.
I heard that song so many times on Instagram.
That's 2 or 3 streams, and that's right, 2 or 3 streams versus that one, because it's you just spent the same amount of time listening as you would, you know, compared to one song.
Yeah.
And so guess what? More revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's smart marketing too, because that's the thing is music is more, it's a psyche thing too. Like there's a psychology to it. And that's why pop music is pop music, because they know exactly what clicks when people just want to hear something that sounds good.
Well, and that's why pop music is so formulaic.
Yeah.
Like, that's why there's a formula to pop.
Exactly.
Like, you know, there's an actual, I forget what it is, but, you know, I remember hearing stuff about how, like, it's like you got your verse, and then if you have a pre-chorus, it's got to be, like, a certain length. Yeah,
like
it can't be too long, it can't be too short.
The verse is super short, because people lose their attention.
Well, and there's always that thing where the first verse is, like, 8 bars, and the second verse is 4 bars, which I understand, like, sometimes songs do that, and I can accept it, but, like, other times I'm like, oh, like, of course you just did that.
Right.
Of course you had a verse, and then you had a chorus, and then you had a verse that was half as long as the first verse. Like, of course you did, because that was the safest possible thing you could have done.
Right.
So, I don't know, like, but, like, there's a certain reason and rhyme and reason to all that, and you have to also kind of appreciate it, because it's like you said, there's a psyche in it, there's the psychology of the music and the way that you're working with it, and if you can find a way to mingle with that as an artist or as a creator, even not even just with music, but like understand that there's kind of a psychology behind what you're trying to do, if you can just mingle with that and mesh that with what your ideas are, you can make something that's kind of bigger than what you are. You just have to be able to
mesh it. I agree. And the thing is you can almost follow a formula, but also change it up just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like an experiment, and you just throw something else in there and see if anything changes.
Oh yeah, like you don't always have to stick to a script. Like you can always, like, it's kind of that spontaneity that works too. But it's having the confidence too. Like the reason that I like making music and all that. Sometimes it's just because I can come up with a random idea, and like that idea is so like amusing to me, and I know it would be amusing to someone else, right? Because I said it and I thought it was a good idea, so I just put it in a song, and then there you go. Like, it's like a release, and like it's just a good idea. Like, it's the ideas that are the fun part. And ideas are always everything. Like, that's what I think. For sure. Ideas are everything. Like, ideas are literally everything. Like, there's nothing that you did that didn't have an idea behind it. So if you're making a song, or you're making an album, or you're making a mixtape, if you're making a movie, you're making a shirt, like, just have an idea behind that and show that to people and make it obvious what your idea is before you try to shove it down their throat. Right. Just give them your idea, because people love your ideas. People really do. I love ideas. I love just hearing what people truly believe in, what they have to say, and you know, that makes me much more inclined to, like, you know, it's like artists. Like, sometimes you hear an artist and you're like, they're alright, and then you like kind of hear another song, you like it way more, and it makes you like that other song.
Right, you go back and listen to it.
Yeah,
I go through that all the time.
You feel like you know them better.
Like I said, so the first, like, Khalid is probably my favorite artist at the moment, and the first time I listened to American Teen, which was his debut album, I was like, damn, what is the hype around this?
Yeah, you're like, what is this?
And then I listened to it again, and I listened to it again.
What's this?
I listened to it like 3 times, and I'm like, I love this.
Yeah. 3 times?
Yeah.
Dude, that's a lot.
I listened to his new song he just dropped today,
3
all day
times.
today. But no.
Was that his for like which album was that in his timeline?
American Teen was his debut album.
Yeah. So how long ago was that when you heard it?
2017.
So like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You went through this experience.
Yeah, it was like pretty much 2 years ago. I think you dropped it. Yeah, it was March. You dropped it in March. So it was 2 years ago. And I still my favorite artist to this day. And so the thing about going back to ideas, about how the ideas drive everything, like with Liquor and Soda, it's actually, I think we can kind of start. Yeah. So with Liquor and Soda, I found this beat that I loved, and I absolutely loved it, but I had a hard time writing. I couldn't find anything that was like, this isn't resonating with me, and I know it's not gonna hit with anybody else. And then an ex-girlfriend of mine, she texted me, and I was like, this is what I'm writing about. This is what I'm writing about. And like the song ended up being about a couple of girls from my past, but and I was like, this is what I'm writing about. And the whole song, you can hear it in the verses. The verses are about one person, and like you can just feel like it's so genuine, because the whole song is a true story. I mean, and that's the thing, is I wrote about almost exactly what happened. And so when you feel an idea, and as soon as that idea drives something, it's just a totally different feeling, as to where if I would have just thrown together something I had never experienced, that I didn't go through, the song would not even be close to the same. It could be the same exact cadence, and it wouldn't be the same thing.
I agree. Yeah, there's some songs that I've written that, like, just because I know that what I'm saying is true, like, I know when I wrote that, it had like this truth to me, and like it meant something to me. Like I wrote it, and I was like, oh my god, I'm glad that that's like somewhere, because it was in my brain and I had to translate it into like some format. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you put it there, and you can say it out loud over and over again. You can listen to it, and it's like, yeah, like that's what people want to hear. They want to like feel that feeling. Like they want to know that, like, it's like what you're saying. Like it's taking that creative spark and knowing that that's something to run with.
Exactly.
And running with it. Because people just want to see you do that, dude. Like everybody, like I feel like anybody could be a fan of you. Really. Like anybody, I don't know. It's just translating things into a format that makes sense to them. Like not everybody would be a fan of my rap music,
right?
But I feel like the videos that I make, I could easily make a video that you would like no matter who you are. Like I could take something, like if I'm doing a 60 seconds for you, I can make a good 60 seconds for you no matter who you are. Right. I just know I can. Like I know I can, and I could show you that, and I feel like that type of thing, that type of confidence,
I was just gonna say,
you just gotta have that.
That's
you
the
just
most
gotta
important thing. That's the most important thing. Because I've just really started to indulge myself all the way into music, because I really do want to commit to it and make it an actual, reality.
Like, do it as soon as you can.
Right.
Anybody listening who's thinking about doing anything creatively, how old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
19. If you're 19, younger or older, just do it. Just freaking do it, please.
Because
pretty please.
I promise you, I look forward to making music and doing something that I love more than anything else that I do in my life.
Yeah.
Because it's a totally different feeling, and I don't know, it's something that really, like we've been talking about the whole podcast, music is captivating, and so it's captivating to the creator and to the person.
The other thing I love about music that I haven't said is that I love that it's so organic.
It really is.
Like music is one of the most organic things I feel like I could do, and I it's so strange. Like I just feel like it's so organic. Like when I can say words that fit perfectly into the segment that the words were supposed to fit in, and it sounds like like when you hear a rap song. If you're a fan of rap, and when you hear a rap song and they drop a punchline at the very end of the bar when the bass drops.
Like, it's almost like it's supposed to happen.
Yeah, it's like it's supposed to happen. It was supposed to be there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be that way.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Speaking of like that, you say that, it's crazy because they say in the psyche of music, like we've been talking about the psychology, they say that you always want your most important bar to be the last bar of the 4 or 6 or 8 bars that you spit.
Oh, of course. Yeah. It's like the ending. Like if you were trying to like build up this rhyme scheme,
right?
Best possible way to do it is to end on the punchline.
How many times you listen to a song, you don't really know the words, but you always know that last bar.
Remember the bar in the Machine Gun Kelly diss, Kill Shot? The one that everybody remembers towards the very end of the song when he says the thing about
Beard is
that
weird.
got pot killed. No, the thing where he says when he ends on pot killed, and he was building up that ill sound for like so long, and that's what makes that line so much better. Like, it's not even just the fact that he said it, it's the fact that he was building up this thing for like for that whole freaking bar. Like, that's the whole bar.
That's facts.
So it's like what you're saying, like that kind of stuff really, and it makes the like that's why it's art to me.
It is.
You're building this piece. Like it has to flow the way it does, or else it's not the same thing. Like it has to be what it is, and like anybody can look at it and they can have different thoughts when they look at it, but it is what it is, and it has to be that. Like that's what art is.
And that's what I like so much about music, because I think. Well, so the human psychology part of things.
Human. I like that.
The human psychology part of things is look at a painting, and a lot of times two people can see it and interpret it differently. But I think with music, more than any type of art, you interpret it differently. And because two people can hear the same exact thing, and one person is like, "This is trash," and the other person says, "I love this song."
Yep.
And I feel like that it's different in comparison to any other type of art, because to me, I mean, it is almost the same thing looking at something, right? But if I look at a window, right, I say that's a window.
I disagree in the sense that, like, okay, I think you're gonna get me on this big ol'. All right, so I'm ready. I think that like everything is like that perception, right? And I always say this quote to people. I always do. I try not to repeat it all the time, but I always do. David Lynch, he's a fantastic director. So good. Twin Peaks is such a good show. It kind of changed television. And David Lynch was a big part of that. And his films are just so unique. And like they like redefine the term unique, like, to me. Because he's so like, the way that he approaches things, and what he said in interviews, is he said that like the reason he even did film is because one day he was like, he had a painting and like he saw it stroked the wrong way or something like that, but it looked like the wind was blowing, and he was like, oh, a moving picture,
right?
And that's what it is. Like, it's just a moving picture. It's the same thing, but wait, there's more.
Okay, right.
And then he said that art itself is just the conversation that one has when they're looking at it. Like, it's the conversation that you have with yourself when you're looking at a piece of art. And I think that is like everything. That's just everything. Like, if you look at a piece of art, no matter if it's music, no matter if it's a painting, no matter if it's even a window, you look at anything, you're going to have a small conversation with yourself. Even if you say, that is a window, that is the conversation that you have with yourself.
Right.
So it's all the same. It's like igniting that conversation. So it's all there. It's all always there. But it's like pulling that out in a way that's going to seem different. Like it's putting your pizzazz on it, you know?
Right, no, I do agree, and I do think that everybody...
Like, a window is just a window. Of course it is.
Right, no, I think the perception is 100% everything, because everything is discretionary with the way you hear, see, or feel, or taste, or anything like that.
You don't even know how anyone perceives
it. But I do...
You can't say beyond your own perception. Like, you can't prove that I perceive anything the same way as you.
Right, no, 100%. And the same thing goes with even seeing colors the same way.
Oh, yeah, that's so weird to me, that someone might not see the same colors as me. Yeah, I just don't accept it. I don't believe it.
I'm not colorblind, but I can tell you how many times I see something that's red or orange, and I think it's more orange, and the person I'm talking to always sees it more red than I do.
Yeah. That's what's so weird about it. It's like, that's what I'm saying. You don't really know how solid your perception is.
Yeah, but perception, I mean, the way that, somebody in an airplane, however many feet up in the sky, sees somebody on the ground is way different than the way I see the airplane, because I see the airplane as being big as hell.
Right.
And they see me being tiny as hell.
Or, dude, even when the carnival comes to your, like, neighborhood and you're on those rides and you're, like, looking down the street you're usually driving on. It's like that.
Totally different feeling.
Like,
because it's something you never see it from that angle.
Yeah.
And I think that it goes to the same way to say never seeing things from certain angles, like we were just talking about. Listening to music in your headphones, or listening to it in a car with a nice sub, or listening to it just on a speaker or just through a TV. It's all different sounds because it's all different sound waves, and so you hear different parts of the song. There was a song that I've listened to for years, and I listened to it with headphones, and I heard these ad-libs and these underlying sounds I had never heard before. And it's just looking at things from a different angle, or in this case, hearing them from a different way.
And it kind of like blows your mind.
No, it really does.
Whoa,
it's like,
whoa!
Holy shit! How did I not notice?
Well, it gives
that?
you like another perspective on the song.
Yeah,
almost. It's like a different.
Or hearing a lyric that you're like, holy shit, that now just makes sense. Because what is it? The Lil Wayne lyric, straight Jesus, it sounds like lasagna.
That's a great example.
First time you hear that, you probably don't really notice it. But then you listen to it again, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
There's no fucking G sound in lasagna.
There's no G.
So
well, people like to underrate that line. People like to act like that line's not poetic.
And then it's corny.
That line is so poetic.
Just because the word lasagna. If it was a different word, people would, wouldn't say. But I mean,
no, it's just like the fact that like Lil Wayne, like he writes all of his bars, and he will have like even like the profane bars that he has, like the way that he like ties them together. Like it'll be like he'll say something that's like off the wall, and it's like so inappropriate, but it's also a great pun, and you can't even hate on it.
It's almost like his whole verse in "Look at Me Now" is like it's like off the wall. It's profane.
Yeah.
But it
right.
hits.
And his wordplay is so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I'm not even like the biggest Wayne fan because I'm gonna be honest, I never listened.
Well, he's so influential though. He's influential in the same way that Drake is, just not for his. He didn't like hold the top for his.
No, yeah, but you hear early Drake, and
like
sometimes
people do sleep on Lil Wayne. Dude.
No,
people sleep on Lil Wayne.
You hear early Drake.
They forget.
Yeah, you hear early Drake. You hear so much Lil Wayne.
Oh, exactly. Like Lil Wayne kind of created early Drake.
He did, and because even Drake goes as far as to say
even
like
Kendrick
I would not
though.
be here
Even Kendrick, like Kendrick was inspired so much by Lil Wayne. You wouldn't think like, but if you go and look at Kendrick's early music, like, oh, of course.
Well,
of course he is.
Listen to something like "Lollipop" by Lil Wayne, like one of his most commercial songs.
Yeah, right. I remember that came out.
Think about how comparable that is to today's mumble rap, so to speak.
It's so different.
But,
so different.
Right. But you can also hear the inspiration in the same breath.
Oh, of course,
with keeping things like just like a little bit of the mumbling that but it just flows, and that's he's making that because not that Lil Wayne doesn't have lyrical.
Well, it's also that genre blending thing going on.
Right, exactly.
He kind of like made
hip-hop,
it cooler.
R&B, pop, all in this.
I don't think there were very many rap artists doing that kind of genre blending. Like he made that whole rock album. Remember that?
No, I never heard that.
He made like a whole rock album.
Really?
Like a band.
Yeah, because like I said, I never listened to a ton of Lil Wayne.
There was that song about like a high school something. It was like Prom Queen. Prom Queen. You didn't hear Prom Queen?
No.
Dude. That's a Lil Wayne classic.
Yeah, like I said,
in a band and everything.
People are gonna think I'm super.
And he's like, that was back when he was on. Remember, he did that song "Let It Rock." It was the same era.
Dude,
Let It Rock. No, that song was so popular. You heard.
I'm telling you, maybe I have not.
Let it rock. Let it rock. Let it rock.
Dude, I don't think I've ever heard that song.
Oh my god.
I know, bro. You're gonna think like, who the fuck am I?
Wow.
But here's the craziest thing though is when I was growing up. I was born in '99.
Yeah.
So when I'm growing up, I really didn't start listening to music until I was like 10. Like really listening to music.
That's fair. That's fine.
Right, and so when I started listening to music, and so it's like, it's 2000.
You like heard music.
Right.
You just didn't listen to it.
And not only that, dude, I didn't listen to any rap.
Really?
Dude, all I heard was, because I was just
listen to R&B?
All pop. All I heard was pop music. I was just always listening to
Was your family listening to pop? Was that what it was?
No, but that's the thing is that I would just hear it on, I would just go on YouTube, and what's on YouTube? The most popular shit.
Pop music.
Right, so it was like Jason Derulo.
Jason Derulo.
Which he has some hits.
He does.
He's got good music.
We're not hating on Jason Derulo.
But it's like Jason Derulo, and just all that type of stuff, and that's all I listened to growing up was like pop, and so I never really, like I didn't even listen to Drake for the first time, like genuinely. I feel like I was like 16, bro. Yeah. And people are gonna think that's crazy, but I just had never really, music never sat with me the way it did, and then, it's a crazy story because we gotta wrap this up soon, so I can tell the story about how I started music to begin with.
Oh yeah, for sure. Is that what we're gonna wrap it up with?
We'll wrap it up with how I started.
Wow, he's got this whole thing figured out.
Okay, so it's crazy. So that's really cool. Yeah. So what I had done is I did a singing video. I'd like to sing Adele, "Someone Like You." It's like September 2017.
Did you hit the high notes? That's my rap.
I wouldn't say. I don't think I'm one of that. I definitely didn't hit that upper octave, but No, but I sang it and I posted it on Twitter. It was like September of 2017. And have you met Young Dill?
No.
Okay, so he's
a great name.
Yeah, rapper based.
Love it.
It is a good name. It is a really good name. He's a rapper based out of Clio as well. and he heard the video and he's like, "What did you record this on?" I'm like, "It's just I just recorded it on my phone." And like I literally like recorded it through Snapchat, bro, like through a singing, you know what I'm saying? So but he sees it and he's like, "Do you want to do a song together sometime?" And I'm like, at this point, I had never even thought about making music. So I'm like, I don't know, because like it's kind of like nerve-wracking to never do it before and then put yourself out there. But I was like, you know what, let's do it. So we get into the studio. Spent like an hour and a half. First time I've ever been in a studio. Never knew anything what the fuck I was doing with music. And it kind of, you know, it went well, but like not super well. And it was good, but my timing was bad. Like it was just like you could tell it was my first time recording. So we get in there the second time. It's like a couple weeks later. Spent another hour and a half. And then we ended up making Faded, and it was just like it was a genuine vibe, and it's like that is like the first time I ever made a song. So like there was no lyrical depth, there was no anything that like it was no deeper meaning. It was just like literally a vibe, but nonetheless,
that isn't tight as Faded, if you ask.
But nonetheless, I appreciate that. But nonetheless, it really that is what inspired me to make music. So, and I don't think I've ever even told him this, but without him reaching out to me on me posting that, I don't think I ever made music. I really don't, because that because that inspired me to do it, and then I got my own shit, and then I started it from there. And so I don't think if he never hits me up, I don't think I ever started. So I really appreciate him for that.
Well, you know what's crazy? It's like I've had a couple people now that have like it's been the same type of situation where because I just like help people out. Like this is a great way to plug actually too, because I got this album project coming up called Palace with my boy James from work. But like even him, he's like a rapper. But we like he's at my work, and like I knew he was like a rapper. Like I knew he could rap,
right?
But like because I had like told him I was a rapper, and like he was like, oh, I can just spit some bars, and he started like freestyling. I'm like, oh, like he could actually rap,
right?
But I was just like, oh, like because you know some people just rap, some people just rap. You know what I mean? Some people just want to spit. Yeah. So I was like, all right, okay, cool, man. Like, but then like one day we hung out after work, and I was talking to him some more, and he was like telling me like freestyle together, and he's telling me like how he's actually like a rapper, like that's what he wants to do. Right. And so at that point I'm like, oh well, dude, just come to my house, like we'll record together, like we'll just record. And this is like the second or third time that this type of situation has happened to me, where I've had somebody who's like wants to start being a rapper, and I'm just like, dude, no, do it now, I'll help you, like right. Let's do it, you should do it now, because like that's what you gotta do.
The earlier you start, the better you'll do.
Well, the earlier you start, the better. And also just like I feel like there's this weird thing too where you're capturing that part of you in that moment.
Yeah.
Like when you are writing something when you're 19, you're not who you are when you're 20, right. And you're not who you are when you're 21.
Maybe you're not even.
And that's valuable to have. Right. Like it matters to you. Like when you look back and you were 19 and you wrote that, and that was like that mattered to you when you were 19, it still matters to you when you're 21. Just like you can reflect on that,
and it puts you back in that time, like we were talking about earlier. It just takes you back to that place, and
it takes you back,
and it takes other people back to listen to it, because maybe somebody grows with you.
It's universal,
and they listen to you as you know, and it takes them back to the same time that you.
Well, it's like what you said. To tie it back even farther in the conversation, music is universal. Mm-hmm. It really is, and everything can speak in that language. Like it just can, because that's what music is. It's this language that we can all speak.
Exactly. I mean, think about, because English is pretty much a universal language, but think about how many people...
English isn't a universal language.
No, I know, but like in Europe, like most countries speak English too, and right, so like a lot of these, or even...
I think you're wrong. I think Mandarin is more popular.
In Europe?
I think like around the country, like around the world. I mean.
No, yeah, I think around the world, Mandarin is more.
More people are speaking like Japanese and Mandarin and stuff.
No, I agree, but I mean like in terms of like music, everybody knows English songs.
Oh yeah,
everybody knows English songs.
Yeah,
and that's what
I agree. I agree. Like what's topping the charts worldwide is mostly American.
Yeah, speaking of that, I was just going through the Apple Music charts at all different countries, and like there was like on like 5 straight countries across the world, there was like Ariana Grande songs.
Yeah, weird.
Right. Not that. I really don't.
I like Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande, I will say, she makes bangers. She got the 808s for the guys, and she's got the sad vibes for the girls. I'm telling you, she's got everything. Ariana Grande is where it's at. Ariana Grande. I said Ariana. Ariana Grande, dude. She's lit. I'm gonna plug her.
True. As if she needs it.
She's great. Yeah, she needs a plug for real.
Jeez. No, but I've never listened to her. But the fact of the matter is,
you don't have to.
It speaks across the world.
Oh yeah, and she doesn't have to. It's just that. It's that her music sounds good.
Exactly.
It's that she's like in a good place musically, really, and like beyond that, like I think lyrically it's good too. Like I would recommend listening to her new album and kind of looking into what it actually means, because it's kind of conceptual the way she did it. Like it's a nice
concept
pop
album. Yeah,
it's a nice pop album because like she kind of is doing this thing where it's like, you know, retrospective, like it's looking inside, or introspective I should say. It's like looking inside of herself rather, and like that song 7 Rings where she's like bragging and all that stuff. Like she's bragging, but it's not like as literal as the song makes it out to be. Like in the context of the album, it's more like reflecting on why she's like that. It's smart. She's a smart artist.
Have you listened? Yeah, she is. Have you listened to the 1975?
Oh, they're great. They're great. They're another
brief inquiry to
like as a pop band, like if you want to call them pop, they're great. Like Matty Healy, dude. What a front man for a band. Seriously,
intelligent dude too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Super intelligent.
Yeah, like everything about him. And the ladies love him.
Oh, of course, the ladies do love him, but that's the thing. That was kind of a concept album, a brief inquiry. Yeah.
Which one?
A brief inquiry.
Oh, is it their newest one?
Relationships. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And that was a concept album, literally based on the title.
Some of those songs are so good.
Yes.
On their newest album.
I think
good.
my favorite one is probably Two Time.
That's your favorite?
Honestly, dude.
That one's kind of like I went like in and out on that. Like
that
one, I didn't like it as much the first one.
That one and It's Not Living.
What's that? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That one legit sounds like a song that was made in the 80s.
In the 80s, and
that's what I thought it was a cover when I first heard it.
Seriously,
I thought it was a cover.
That's what it sounds like.
It blew my mind that it wasn't a cover. Like that's how good it is.
It is nuts.
It's nuts. They're so good. They're so original.
And yes, because they capture something that nobody else is doing today. Nobody. And maybe, and if they are, I mean, they're just not doing it as well because they're just not as big. And they're independent too, or at least they were for a while, right? I'm not sure if they're signed.
I don't know if they're independent. I would imagine they're not.
I would say probably not now.
But they're still like either way.
Nonetheless, they still have their own creative control. Clearly.
Because they keep making like completely different projects. Like they keep switching it around.
Like a good example of that is like on each of their albums, they have their intro song is called the 1975. It's like the same lyrics, but then they change the beat every single time. And they reconstruct it to be a totally different song. And I think it's a good reflection of their growth as creators to take it to the same song and make it different every single album.
Yeah, I agree. I try to do something with my albums where I start every single one, or not albums, but I should call them EPs, where I start every single one with an acapella. I think starting every single one with an acapella like sets the bar. Like, all right, I'm gonna like say some bars in here, like it's not just like music, but I'm also proving I can rap like real quick.
Right.
Bam, 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 hitting you with some bars as fast as I can, and then all right, now we jump into the first song.
Right.
I mean, that wasn't even the first song. That's just the intro.
Right.
Now we jump into the
here's what's gonna grab your attention and prove and show me what kind of artist I can be, and here's something else that shows you another type of artist I can.
Consistency. Like every single album starts in kind of the same way, so that way they can see it coming, and it also shows that progression. Because over the time, I'm definitely gonna get better at writing, so it's naturally gonna show when I have my 5th album and it's the acapella of that one rather than the first one. So yeah, dog.
100% facts.
Man, so did you hit everything? Did you say everything you had to say about your... I think we had a really nice conversation.
I think it was a pretty genuine conversation. Yeah, it was a good time.
We had a good time.
For like an hour.
I know. This was longer than my last one. I thought my last one was long. But no, that's how it goes when you were having fun.
Exactly. And just talking about real stuff.
Yeah, well, and just talking. Like, because like, I really do... Like, I'm not just talking to talk to you. Like, I really do think all that stuff. Like, music is really... Yeah, it's really so... It's nice to talk to somebody who understands music and works with music. That's why I like being able to do all the stuff that I do, because I like just being able to be in the presence of people who are kind of in that same sphere as me. Because it's like you want to surround yourself with that type of energy.
Oh, for sure.
You really have to. Like, the people you're around do so much in terms of the way that you think, and you don't think about that all the time, but when you slow down and kind of stop and look at your life and the way that you're framing everything, like, of course the people around you, you're basing your frame of reference off of how they respond to what you do, and sometimes you just have to either stop doing that and kind of take a second and look at yourself, and
if it's negative energy, or
if it's positive energy,
or if it's positive energy,
like, recognize that and like keep going for it, because that's what pushes you so much farther. Like, the people around you do so much.
That's 100%.
You have no idea, dude.
Like, if you're if your close friends don't support you with your music, first of all, it's that's got to be terrible. It's got to be tough, right?
That's just sad,
right? Because then, I mean, how much of a friend are they really? But then in the same breath, it's just negative energy, and now like that might disinspire you or uninspire you to create. And so when you have positive energy telling you, like, I believe in you and I believe what you're doing is actually legitimate, that drives you to make more. And so, like, negative energy and positive energy as it goes for everything in life, but especially with creating, it's huge.
I think it speaks to that mentor thing you were saying earlier, right? Because, like, I think that you should be able to do those things yourself. Like, you have to be able to.
Oh, for
and that's
sure.
the advice I give people. Like, don't ever wait for someone to tell you to do it.
No, I agree with
like,
that.
you should never wait. You don't just expect, like, all right, I can maybe make a video, or I could maybe do this one day, but I'm just gonna wait till this happens. Like, don't say that. Just don't even say that, because then you're putting yourself in this mindset where now you're waiting, and you can wait forever. It's pretty easy to wait.
Yeah, it is.
But like when you have that mentor figure or whatever, all of a sudden it's like, oh, like I have this person that's pushing me to do it, and they think the same way as me, and like they get it. And when that happens, just everything falls into place. And that's why like people matter so much in a way, because it's like you see that not everybody's so different, and like it is like that. Like, you know, like when you made that song, it's like it really is just recording a song. And then you made a song. The first time you probably recorded, you were like, oh no, like, oh no,
right,
this is not me. I don't know what I'm doing. And then the second time, you know, you just go into it with less pressure on you, because you kind of already know how it went. It's like whatever, but that breeded something else, because that was its own energy.
Exactly,
you know,
because if it wasn't for that, I don't make the next thing, which is the next thing, which is the next thing.
And also I feel like it's also everything's infinite and keeps moving forward, and so you got to have that kind of mindset. You kind of always think like, all right, well, if you like that, then let me show you this. Like my brain's still always moving. Like I want to show you more.
Yeah, I think that's so important too, because whenever I do end up finishing the project, I want to show versatility more than anything. I want to show that, like,
it's so funny. Isn't that so funny how you make a whole project and then you go back and look at it and you're like, once you're finally done, you listen to all the songs like straight through. Yeah. And it's like, usually it's this gratifying feeling, but there's also this backwards, like not backwards, but there's this thing in the back of your head like, well, I'm kind of different at this point. I could probably.
Right, it's true.
But it's too late because you already have like 12 songs. And you want to put that on something, so you just have to put it out, but you know you're better than that now. So you have already separated yourself from that thing that's new.
That's one thing I do. I have a problem with sometimes. I always overthink, and I'm like, do I really like this? Because I loved it yesterday. Yeah. I loved it yesterday, but I loved it yesterday. But do I really like it? But then sometimes it's a good thing to question that, and sometimes it's a bad thing because you go back and it's like, oh shit.
Well, you can always modify things too.
Very true. Very true.
A lot of people don't take advantage of that. Like if you write a song, you can tweak that as much as you want.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a song. I mean, unless you're like one of those dudes that just records in the spot.
Right.
I mean, then whatever. Do what you do.
Exactly.
But man, I think we had such a nice kind of see. I'm always moving. I'm always thinking. I could just talk to you forever. I feel like it's hard to wrap these conversations up. I gotta put my camera on for the very end at least, so we can see us say goodbye. All right, man, guys, all right. It's been a great podcast. It's been freaking awesome.
Lots of fun.
Nice hanging out with you guys. Thanks for listening. If you listen to this whole thing, it's been sweet. It's been Westy. It's been Ruse.
Yes, sir.
It's been Ruse Radio. Clocking out.